All right, there it is. I thought I was in with my camera. Okay.
Everybody, we're really, I have my friend and our guest here, also a candidate for city council in New York City, okay? This is Jonathan Rinaldi, Jonathan David Rinaldi, and he's in South Carolina. Am I correct? Tonight, you're down
Yeah,
in the beautiful state of South Carolina.
yeah, just checking out the rest of the country a little bit. You know, it's summertime, 4th of July, got to get out there.
Uh-huh.
But like as you can see, I'm still New York forever. So,
Yeah.
I'm always going to represent the city.
Yeah, you really do. And for people in New York, you're going to want to watch all of this. We're not going to be talking very long. We're going to be talking about the election coming up in 4 months, I believe, November 4th, anyway. And where should we start, Jonathan? You're running for city council, and we had on the screen before we started, it said, think the mayor runs the city? Think again.
Yeah,
Tell us.
well, I think what people have to realize is that the city council is a check on the mayor, right? The mayor is more of a designer of what he wants the city to be, and city council are the builders. So we have budgetary approvals. You know, the mayor presents a budget to the city council. The city council can approve it. We have legislative powers, investigatory powers. The mayor will appoint heads of different organizations, but we have the investigatory subpoena power to those organizations. So regardless if whoever does become the mayor, the important thing that people have to realize is that you must vote in the city council people that are going to either approve or deny the radical agenda based on ideology that the city doesn't need.
And how many people work in the New York City Council?
I think it's like there's like council seats, but either way, I mean, there's really not a lot of opposition to ideology, and that's the why it's so important to put city council members in.
Okay, so I've been telling people, and I believe this, but I've been wrong so many times in politics. I just can't believe it. It's good that I haven't got into betting. Anyway, I've been telling people the New York mayor's race comes down to Curtis Sliwa and Zohran Mamdani. And I think the media may say otherwise, but I think that's what we're going to find bottlenecked at the very end. What do you think?
I think that Mandami has an incredible chance to win because he is more up to speed. He's younger. He knows social media. He knows how to connect with the individuals that vote. The elderly, which is what mostly the Cuomos, the Adams, the Sliwas are going to go after. They respond differently than to be able to plaster the internet with content that can be shared, liked. There's a power in that, and that's
So
why.
Zoran is more appealing for young people, and I would agree with you. But that's sort of what you're saying. And you have a lot of kids. Let me ask you: did any of your kids vote for Mam Danny?
No, they
Okay,
did
all right.
not. But obviously they're gonna vote with their dad, as they should.
Really?
But
Okay.
yeah, well, I mean, I think I raised them the correct way. I didn't lose them to the establishment. These candidates aren't real. I'm the only real populist candidate. I'm not endorsed by anyone. I got on the ballot strictly through the administrative process. I went door to door myself. I got signatures. I'm on the ballot. And I represent the real power of the individual, the real power of the populace, and how important it is for every single person to get involved because that's how we're going to check the establishment. Somebody like Mamdani, these kinds of fabricated people that come out with all this money and all this messaging, these are special interest funded candidates. These are people that are coming with an agenda that's already set, and they're just there to present it, the vision of the city, and present a budget so that these special interest groups will get a cut of those billions of dollars that the city has. That's the game, right? So we have to have city council people in office that are going to ideologically represent New York and not sell out.
Okay, so I don't disagree with you. As a matter of fact, everything you said, I agree. It looks like Mam Danny has the upper hand. And if he wasn't around, there were a lot of people in New York City who were hoping that Curtis would finally get his chance. He's the founder of the Guardian Angels. You know, he's been in politics for most of his whole life. Surely he's deserved a chance to be mayor. And yet, up comes Mamdani. And I don't know whether it was just because of the Israel-Palestine conflict, or it's because, as you said, he's young and he's out there, he's touching people. Como was riding around in his, a black Charger and getting harassed by crackhead Barney.
Right. Well,
and he was a bogus candidate anyway. And so is Adams.
But I just want to know,
who do you think's going to be there in the last 2 weeks of the mayor's election?
One thing about Sliwa, right? I mean, realistically, the president did not endorse the Republican candidate
you're right.
for the mayor. So that doesn't look very good.
It's bad, very bad
for the New York GOP and all that stuff. Okay, this is, it's not, people, the politics is something that you're drawn to do, not something that you deserve, not something that you earn. It's
not
a job.
Punishment? I thought it was punishment.
It is punishment, and it's something that I must do to save the future of my children. But let's just be clear that nobody's deserved anything just because he's around doesn't mean that it belongs to him, right? But
okay,
again,
good point.
Again, there are instances like, for example, I'm a candidate.
But doesn't good ideas before you let Curtis go? Isn't he the only mayor who will stop the city of Yes, which is this vast proposal to change every residential neighborhood in Queens? And some people say put a little store on almost every few blocks in every neighborhood.
Well, zoning and the ULURP process is city council. So if you don't like the city of Yes, then blame city council because they're the ones that voted on it, right? So the mayor, that's what I'm saying. The mayor just is the designer and the city council needs to carry it out. Now, we can say no, and we don't have to pass legislation. We don't have to pass the budget so that the mayor can go ahead and do his thing. But it's the echo chamber in the city council. Right now, the mayor doesn't matter because even if Curtis Sliwa gets in and he's fundamentally against city council is so strong that they may or may not do what he wants. So either way, do you want a strong mayor or do you want a strong city council, right? I'm not for centralization, but it's the one thing also I'd like to say about a candidate like Sliwa is that we're all city council candidates. Do you see me with him on account of everything's so damn expensive anyways? Just if you're not going to take people's right to drive away, then let them.
So both you and Mamdani are for free buses.
I'm 100% for free buses, yes. But everything else that he represents, again, I don't believe he's a real candidate. He's not a real person. You know what I mean? Like, you don't come from all that money without having to owe favors.
Yeah, and he did come up with a lot of money and very quickly, but I would say they just were very organized in this campaign, a very organized approach. And I'll tell you why, because he neglects his constituents. But listen, I want everybody to know that you're a candidate in Queens, New York, in Kew Gardens, in Forest Hills.
Richmond Hill.
It sounds like you got a great party there. Yeah, a whole bunch in area. District 26.
29.
29? Oh,
29.
I got it wrong. I'm sorry. And you're very experienced in politics. And really, if anybody could get things happening, it would be you, Jonathan. I know you can do it. And you've really, you've been banging on the door of the Board of Elections. You've been arrested a few times by the NYPD for sticking up in what you believe. It's amazing. So for people who want to follow you, I'm just going to play a short clip here so that people can see your website, okay?
Go ahead.
Thanks. All right, that's great. JDR for NYC.com, candidate for city council. So let's talk about this mayoral election a lot. So you seem like you're resigned to Mamdani actually being our mayor, for goodness sake. You of all people, you're one of the protectors of liberty. Jonathan, but maybe I'm thinking I need to do the same thing because it's just written on the wall. We've seen it enough, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to win. And I think people should just focus on getting their city council people elected because, like I said, he has he has all the social media, he has the ground game, he's got the advertising, he's got it all. He's got the appeal. He's got there's a large population that may or may not agree with him, but will vote with him based on his who he is, what his background is. And that's what people use.
No, they won't. He's terrible. The whole thing's a con. No, he doesn't have a chance.
People love that. No, listen, people
Right.
fall for this stuff like all the time. It's very easy.
Right.
And he's gonna win, and I know he's gonna win. And it's the thing is in New York is that people have been played. Their emotions have been played for so long. They're very easy to go with things because they have a good heart. And there's Trojan horses that exist where somebody's going to present something that you think is a good idea, but written within all of that is all of the bad stuff that comes with it, and it's only going to make everything more expensive for everybody. We're not going to be able to live. We're not going to be able to have a family. We're not going to be able to drive. We're not going to be able to afford our groceries. We're not going to be able to have money to go on a trip. Like right now, for a family, imagine I want to take my family over to Jersey. With congestion pricing, it costs hundreds of dollars just to drive somewhere.
Right.
It's not conducive to business, to family, to a good way of life. And we have to stand up for the working class. Really,
yeah.
We have to stand up for the family.
I love your working class posters, by the way. I'll be sure to show them the next time we're talking. They're really good. Yeah. And you also do some of the best videos. People have got to go to your website and follow you. And people can learn so much. One time you came into the studio and I could sense that you're probably the most knowledgeable person that understands the ground game and how elections work in all, of all cities, New York City, which is
if people would just stop getting scared of and just work with me. It's we have to fight the dragon. Back in the day when we had to go up against an impossible army, George Washington invented guerrilla warfare, didn't he? I mean, we have to change the way that we fight. We have to change the way that we can assert our beliefs, because we are up against an entrenched system that's out to really make it very expensive for us to live, and we got to stand up for that.
Jonathan, let me ask you something. If you were to sit down with Curtis Sliwa, founder of the Guardian Angels, once again a candidate for mayor in New York, if you were to sit down with him, what would you tell him to change his campaign and to win the race?
I would simply say that don't play it safe. Okay, don't worry. Just you have to get out there and you have to do stuff that hasn't been done before. You have to push a little bit. You have to you have to have events. You have to do things. You have to get your name in everyone's mouth. And he has to work with all of us. We have to team up. There's got to be a very concise, consistent team that represent an ideology and agenda. Sliwa is the top of the ticket, right? So it's not that he's just running for mayor, but he's running as kind of the captain, the representative of all of us. If we're all on the same party, we're all on the same side. So he needs to do more of that, and that means if he's got to deal with someone like me, then just get me on board and stop being such a scaredy cat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you think New York City could turn red after all?
Pockets, yes, but I don't know. You know, like just think about the neighborhoods, right? Think about Greenpoint, Bushwick, Ridgewood. Think about you know, the Upper East Side, even, you know, Upper West Side. I mean, anywhere you look, it's not that these are bad people, but they tend to lean in a specific way, and I don't think
even though they destroy their city more and more and more, decade after decade.
Yeah, listen, but see, the thing is that their hearts are in the right place. You see, and
come on,
no,
I have to have a beer now. I need a beer.
I'm finishing mine. No, but their hearts are in the right place. It's just that, you know, unfortunately, they are very, very good at utilizing our emotions to present situations that seem like we have an obligation to participate in, but in reality, we have to look at the bigger picture and see that, you know, sometimes people use things against us, and we have to not be naive and recognize when we are being played.
I hope that you're going to be able to handle this, because we started off talking about, think the mayor runs the city. Do you really think the mayor runs the city? Think again. It's city council, and you've brought this into the conversation. So I think you're going to win your race, Jonathan. But
I know I'm winning.
All right, let me show you, though, what the city council of New York looked like in 2022, okay?
Go ahead.
There you go. Do you see one? This is where you're going to be. You're going to be able to handle these ladies?
Yes, I absolutely.
You know, that was the city council in 2022.
It's okay.
They're waiting for you. This is.
Women are beautiful creatures that need to be respected and loved.
I know they are. That's an honor to be in that chamber.
That's right. But again, it's really just about standing up for you know, ideology, and understanding that we have to see through the social engineering, and we have to call it out and make sure that, you know, special interests do not control right legislation and pay off the politicians.
That's the name of the game. Special interest in New York City. Come on, that's why we need you, and that's why we don't need Mamdani. Listen,
that's right.
I know you've got other things to do. Why don't you have the last word, and then we'll go and come back soon.
I would just say that to everyone, that if there was ever a time where you had to vote against your party, believe me, I would never, you know, want to vote on opposition of my party. It hurts sometimes to vote the other side, but, you know, times like these is the first time. It's okay. You could do it once, and now is the time to do it. And if you vote Republican and you vote me in, I promise that I will be the check and balance and stand in the way of ideology, and make sure that the mayor, who doesn't have the authority to do whatever he wants anyways, but make sure that he holds the interests of the American people, and the people in New York, and the families, and the people that take public transportation, and the people who buy groceries. We keep them as the number one most important class, and take care of everybody.